gang. Here we are again today. Today we're going to teach one of my very favorite things to teach, and that is movement. Okay, so we can do a lot of movement today. So we're going to do a nice big warm-up so that you're all ready to go and your muscles are all warmed up. Okay, I want you to reach for the sky, really reach up, and reach for the ceiling. We're going to stretch out all the muscles on the sides of our bodies on one way and go the other way. Good. Okay, and then pull your elbows down and lift your heart all the way up to the sky. Good, and breathe in as you go up with your arms, and exhale like a dandelion. If you're blowing out a dandelion, as you exhale and you bring your elbows down. Okay, one more time. Breathe up, breathe in. Oh, and let's sigh it out this time. Ah. Okay, good. Now take up as much space. You're like a star, and you're shining, and you're taking up as much space as possible, really reaching beyond your fingertips. Reach all the way down your legs and through into the ground. Ground yourself really good. And then I want you to slowly bring it in so that you're kind of collapsing into a tiny little ball or something. So really contract it in, and then start expanding again, and then expand, and bring your arms down. Relax your shoulders and take a nice deep breath, a nice big belly breath. Ah, good. And then lift your heart so that your heart's kind of going up, and the crown of your head is like the top of the mountain, and you're standing nice and tall. Okay, good. Excellent. Now just start a little bit of wiggle, a little shake. We always shake a little bit, and we float a little bit, and we breathe a little bit when we warm up, and that's a nice, really quick warm-up. Okay, good. We're going to start with mirrors. We've done this before, but mirrors are so important because it helps us really be in control. So I want you to just follow my movement, and I'm going to do a little bit different stuff today than I did in the last video where we did mirrors. I want you to really follow me almost exactly. So somebody that's looking at the camera or the computer and you, they wouldn't be able to tell who's leading the movement. So just notice little tiny things like I'm turning my hand, and I'm turning my body, and I'm going nice and slow so that you can follow. But I need you to anticipate where I might be going next. Try to pay attention to every little detail. And we're going to come really slowly to a close. And we're going to be when we stop, we're going to be as still as possible. We're not even going to, we can blink. And we can breathe, and that's it. We can't even move our eyeballs. We can't look right or left or up or down. We have to keep our eyeballs still and our whole body completely still. No twitching, no wiggling, no fidgeting. Okay, good, and relax. Okay, good. Mirrors is hard work. It looks easy, but it's not that easy, is it? Okay, so now you might remember the body energies. We did those on one of the other videos, but I'm going to give you a quick review. So the first body energy is that floating kind of energy, where you can float like you're on a cloud or maybe on the moon. So I want you to go ahead and experience the floating energy. Really feel it. Everything's really light. And go ahead and walk through the space. I'll just listen to my voice and I'll take you through. So just walk through this space in this floating energy. You might feel like you're able to just float right up to the ceiling. That's how light you are. Or maybe you're just floating back and forth, kind of like you're floating in water. I'm sure you can remember, if you think back, remember how it feels to be in the water and to be in the pool and all the water around you supporting you. You don't have to do a whole lot, right? Good. Or maybe you're floating in a downward direction. Maybe you're like a falling leaf or a feather that's falling down to the ground, but very gently and very slowly. You're still very, very light. Okay, good. So you can rise up like a balloon going up to the sky. Feel that rising, floating. And then feel that kind of just back and forth floating. And then you can feel the settling down, kind of falling very gently to the ground. Floating energy. Okay, good. Now keep this energy going, but now I want you to gradually start walking through the space in one of those flavors, either the rising, the floating, or the settling down. And I want you to imagine how a character might emerge out of this energy. What kind of character is inside of you that lives in this floaty kind of energy? So you don't have to be really big anymore. You can just walk and just feel it inside of you. Okay? And what kind of character might emerge? Maybe it's a queen, or maybe it's an astronaut, or maybe it's a very, very, very sad person. And as you're walking around and this character is emerging out of you, go ahead and give your character a name. What would your character's name be? Good. And on the count of 3, I want you to say your character's name. Introduce yourself, whatever character name that comes to your mind. Something like, hello, my name is Abigail. Okay, go ahead. What is your name? Excellent, good. Now shake that off, shake it all off. Okay, good. Now remember that the other kind of energy was our strong energy. So I want you to walk around in your strong energy, your very condensed, fueled energy. You don't have to be really big with it. You can be kind of just walking through space, but you actually feel it. It's all inside you, and it's filling every molecule in your body. And you're really strong and confident. Or maybe you're a wizard, an enchantress. Maybe you're a hero or a villain, a superhero. Good. And walk through all the different little changes in your body that you didn't know were there. And imagine that your character has a name. And what is that name? Make up any name you want. And on my signal, you're going to say who you are. It might be, hello, my name is Jack. Are you ready? Here we go, and go. Introduce yourself. Well, hello. Good job. Good job. Now our last energy is that shaking energy, the wiggly, giggly, shimmery, shivering, all kinds of different shaky things that you can do, okay? So I want you to go ahead and just start shaking a little bit as you walk through the space. Maybe it's a giggly, maybe it's a shivery, maybe it's just a wiggly, maybe it's just a silly one, okay? And go ahead and walk through the space in that wiggly, giggly, whatever that shaky energy is. Maybe it's really nervous, or maybe it's really excited, or any kind of shaking energy. And walk around a little bit and allow allow your imagination to form this character in your mind and let it embody your entire being. And give that character a name. What is your character's name? Just think of anything off the top of your head. And on my signal, I want you to introduce yourself. Maybe it's something like, hello, my name is Esmeralda. And what is yours? Oh, I bet those are amazing names, and I bet you found simply incredibly fun and interesting characters that you didn't know lived inside of you. That's great. Good job, you guys. Okay, so now we're going to pretend that we are different things. Okay, and again, you may have played this game before, but we're going to play it again. And every time you do a game that maybe we've done before, you might find something new. So there's nothing wrong in repetition. Repetition is a good thing. Okay, so here we go. So you are going to simply use your imagination, and you are going to let your body respond immediately and instinctively to whatever this thing would do. So these are going to be things, not people or characters, and they're doing something. Okay? Are you ready? Here we go. The first one is popcorn popping. Go. Are you popping? Pop, 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 pop. And now you are bacon sizzling. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Sizzling in a pan. And I'm going to have you freeze after each one of these. So freeze. Now you are paper crumpling. You're crumpling into a tiny little ball. Crumple, 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 and freeze. And now you are wind blowing, and you might take this all the way around the room. You might be a really fast wind, or you might be a very gentle wind, or a little breeze. It's up to you. You're blowing, and freeze. And now you are water flowing. Are you a rushing river or a gentle stream? How are you as water flowing? Totally up to you. Flowing, and freeze. And now you are fire crackling. What kind of fire are you? What do you do with your body to be a fire? Are you a big fire? Are you a little fire? Are you a happy, warm campfire? Or are you a blazing inferno? Good, and blazing and fire crackling, and freeze. And now you are a light blinking. How do you blink your light? Are you a little blinking? Are you a big flashing light? How does your light blink? Blink, blink, and freeze. And now you are a flower blooming. What shape is your body in to be a flower? And how does it bloom? Good, you guys are problem solving in the moment. You're so amazing. Okay, good, and you're blooming, and freeze. And now you are a popsicle melting on a very hot day. Melting into a pool of strawberry, orange, or raspberry, sugary substance, syrupy on the floor. And freeze. And now you are a little seed, an acorn that is growing all the way up into a big, huge, tall oak tree. Very strong, but take your time. You're growing slowly, growing. Let your branches branch out, reaching for the sun. And freeze. Awesome. Good job, you guys. Good job. I'm sure you probably felt all the different body energies in there. Like when maybe you were the popcorn popping, you were in that shaking energy, right? And maybe when you were a wind blowing, you were in that really strong energy. Or maybe when you were the flower blooming, maybe you were in that floaty energy. So see how these can be so useful and different? They're body energies. Good job. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to play with an animal. All right, a lot of actors use an animal seriously, use an animal as a way to inform how they move and behave as the character. So just think of your character, a character you're playing, and think of maybe an animal that might be something that you can draw something from. So for instance, maybe a very pompous character might have a peacock as her influencing animal. Or maybe it's a very evil character and conniving, and they use a tiger or a lion to inform their character, or maybe a panther, something that stalks other people. Or maybe you're a monkey and you're just happy all the time. Maybe the monkey is informing your character. So think of any animal at all that you want to play with, or one that might help you play your character. Doesn't matter. Just pick any animal you want, and here we go. Okay, so I want you to take on the shape, make your body into the shape of that animal. Are you there? Okay, and you're sleeping. You start out sleeping as your animal. How does your animal sleep? And then your animal wakes up. How does your animal wake up? Do they yawn? Or do they just get right down to business? So you're waking up and, oh, your animal's hungry, so you're going to go out and find something to eat. So how does your animal character walk or move? Maybe you're a snake and you slither on the ground, or maybe you hop. So really be aware of all your muscles and your joints, and how do you keep that posture and that shape of that animal to be as truthful and real as you possibly can. So you're moving to find food. Now, are you an animal that is a predator that eats other animals? Or are you one of those animals that other animals eat, and you have to be worried about maybe those animals are around and you have to be careful that they don't get you? So that is going to depend on how you move. Are you predator or are you prey? So go ahead and move through your space. Oh, and you find your food. What kind of food is it that you eat? Go ahead and eat your food. How does your animal character eat? Do they have any type of claws or paws? Or are they a snake again? Do they not have any arms or legs or anything? So you're problem solving minute by minute, trying to figure out how your character does things, how your animal character does things. Okay, good, and you're done eating, and now you're going to transform. So you're slowly and very, very slowly, take your time, you're going to transform from your animal into your human character. So maybe if you're playing Jack, or if you're playing Hansel or Gretel or Rapunzel, you're going to change from your animal character very slowly. You can start now changing into that character. How do you move your body so that you're making this character that may be even on the ground into a character that walks upright? Taking your time, slowly figuring out atom to atom movement, very smooth transitions from one kind of posture to a totally different kind of posture. And keep moving and moving until you're as tall as your character. And now I want you to walk through the space as your character, but with a little touch of influence from that little animal that you just explored, or big animal, whatever that was, and let that influence your walk and your posture. Do you hold your head up higher, or do you kind of slouch a little bit? How do you hold your hands and your arms? Are you closing yourself in, or you're opening yourself up? And how does it feel? Okay, good. Now we're going to test it by walking off and just shaking back to your own self, to your very own, whoever you really are and however you really stand. And on the count of 3, we're going to go back into that other body of our character that's influenced by our animal. Ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, snap. And relax. Okay, good. So if you want to, you can try to apply this as you're playing your character in your play or your monologue or your scene or whatever, okay? So play with that. Good job. Okay, our last little game is really fun. Everybody really loves this game. If you're all by yourself, that's fine, but if you have others with you, I want you to all go to one side of the room, and you're each going to walk across the space, okay? You're gonna walk from one end to the other end of the space, and they're all kind of silly walks. And I'm gonna cue you in onto what kind of walk you can do, but these are all gonna be your creative versions of what these are, okay? So the first one is, I want you to sneak from one end to the other. Ready, and go. Sneak. Sneak, 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 sneak. And the next one is old man. So the next person, or if you're by yourself, you can go from the one end back to the other end. How does an old man walk from one side to the other? The old man. Okay, good. And the next one is sword fighting. You are sword fighting from one end to the other. It's either the next person or you're going back again if you're by yourself. Sword fighting. And the next one is sleepwalking. How do you sleepwalk from one side to the other? Sleepwalking. The next one is marching. You are marching, marching, marching. Why are you marching? Who are you that marches? Marching, marching. Good. And now the next one is you're carrying hot tea, and you better not spill it, so you have to be very, very careful. Walking with your hot tea. How do you hold it? How do you hold it? Oh, you don't want to drop it. You don't want to spill it. Carefully now. And the next one is you're pushing a boulder up a hill. Oh, it's so heavy, you can barely move it. Push, push. Using all of your strength. Maybe you're using that strong energy to push as much as you can, and maybe you're a little tired too because it's really, really heavy and you've been doing it a long, long time. Okay, good. And the last one is you've got gum on your shoe and it keeps sticking to the floor. Stick, 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 sticking, icky, sticky to the floor. Okay, good job, you guys. Bravo. I wish I could see all the fun stuff you're doing, but we will meet again sometime, and I hope you're having fun, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.